brought to you by Daba, your most comprehensive platform for investing in African stocks, bonds, and managed funds. You can download the Daba app on your favorite Google and Apple app stores. The BRVM closed the week of January 26th to January 30th on a clearly positive note. The market is sending a strong signal. Confidence is back, investors are active, and opportunities are multiplying. Let us start with the big picture, because context always comes before details. Throughout the week, BRVM indices moved higher in a synchronized manner. The BRVM Composite Index rose to approximately 364 points, confirming a solid upward trend. The BRVM 30 Index also increased, as did the BRVM Prestige Index, which tracks the most liquid and structurally important stocks on the market. When all indices move up together, it is never random. It means the rally is not driven by one or two isolated stocks, but by a broad-based market movement. This trend is confirmed by trading activity. Volumes traded increased significantly compared to the previous week, with more than 15 million shares exchanged. At the same time, the total value of transactions exceeded 5 billion francs CFA. In simple terms, this means money is circulating, investors are buying and selling actively, and the market is alive. Why does this matter to you? Because an active market is a market where it is easier to enter positions, adjust strategies, and exit when needed, without liquidity constraints. Now let us move to equities, and more specifically to the stocks that defined the week. The picture is very clear. 32 stocks recorded gains, while only 13 ended the week lower. This reflects a market clearly oriented toward buying rather than waiting on the sidelines. Among the top performers, one stock stood out with a weekly gain of more than 22%. This kind of move naturally attracts attention, but it is essential to understand what is driving it. In this case, the performance is linked to a broader strategic transformation, supported by a multi-year investment plan and expectations of progressive revaluation. For investors, this reinforces a key principle. The most sustainable price increases are usually driven by structural changes, not short-term speculation. Right behind it, another industrial stock gained more than 21% during the week. This move reflects renewed investor interest in undervalued companies with strong recovery potential. Here, the market is clearly looking ahead, focusing not only on current performance, but on future improvements. A third stock from the automotive and equipment sector also recorded a gain of more than 10%. This performance fits into a broader trend of gradual economic recovery across the region, supporting sectors linked to distribution, transport, and infrastructure. On the downside, some stocks experienced pullbacks. One stock that had posted strong gains the previous week saw a sharp correction, falling by more than 16%. This type of movement is typical for volatile stocks. After strong rallies, some investors take profits. This is not necessarily a negative long-term signal, but a reminder that markets never move in a straight line. Other declines were more moderate, around 3% or 2%. These movements remain contained and do not challenge the overall positive trend of the market. Now, let us talk about trading volumes and the most active stocks. This week, a major telecommunications stock stood out as the most traded on the exchange, with transaction volumes exceeding 750 million francs CFA, while also recording a clear price increase. This is a very strong signal. When a large cap stock rises on high volumes, it reflects institutional confidence rather than short-term enthusiasm. Other major banking and industrial stocks also posted strong trading volumes, confirming their role as anchors of the regional market. For investors, the takeaway is simple. These stocks remain core building blocks for constructing balanced portfolios. Let us now turn to the bond market, which is often less spectacular but equally strategic. During the week, the capitalization of the bond market increased slightly, reaching more than 11 trillion francs CFA. However, total transaction value declined modestly compared to the previous week. This is not contradictory. It reflects a more selective approach by investors. Most of the activity focused on a sovereign 10-year bond offering a coupon of around 6%. This single bond accounted for nearly two-thirds of total bond market transactions, with more than 2 billion francs CFA traded. Why such strong demand? Because it combines three key elements investors are seeking: a sovereign issuer, an intermediate maturity that provides visibility, and an attractive yield. Other 8-year and 10-year bonds also attracted attention, with yields at maturity exceeding 7% in some cases. In a context where many investors are looking for stability and predictable income, bonds continue to play their role perfectly. For households, entrepreneurs, and risk-averse investors, the message is clear. The bond market remains a powerful tool for securing part of one's wealth while generating regular income. So, what should we take away from this week? First, the upward momentum on the BRVM is well established, supported by higher volumes and broad investor participation. Second, top performing stocks show that the market is rewarding both strategic transformations and recovery expectations. Third, the bond market continues to act as a defensive pillar, with strong demand for intermediate maturities. Now let us look ahead. For the coming week, available data points to a market that should remain active, with opportunities across both equities and bonds. Several signals suggest continued selectivity, with attractive valuation gaps and technical indicators worth monitoring. However, those opportunities are reserved for our subscribers. To go further, receive detailed analyses, understand where to position yourself, and refine your strategy, Daba Pro is your best ally. With Daba Pro, you access exclusive recommendations, in-depth market analysis, and tools designed to help you invest with discipline and confidence. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Daba Markets Talk podcast. We'll be back next week with another update. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating, follow us, and share with friends. Remember, this information is for educational purposes. Always do your own research or consult with a financial advisor before making investment decisions. And download the Daba app on your App Store to start investing in African stocks, bonds, and manage portfolios through your phone and find other helpful content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing your financial knowledge.